Hi folks, something slightly different today. I'm going to try to do an unhaul. I do spend quite a lot of time adding books to my collection, but the time has come to take a look at the books, particularly the ones that I've read, mainly recent books, to see if they're worthy of keeping in my collection. So you can see where I've double stacked this shelf, the shelves behind, the books behind the ones you can see here, I've read. And similarly on this shelf down here, and I think... yeah, this shelf and this one. And there is another one over here, but I'll move the camera for that one. So behind this one and this one are books that I have read, I think. I need to check. And I think that there are some candidates for removal, let's say, ejection of books that I've read and I'm never going to read again and maybe don't have any inherent value beyond that. So let's see how we get on. I'll have to move the microphone, but I think that'll be okay. Right, so the first thing to do is to just move some of these. Let's move these down here. Right, well, I can already see some that I could usefully remove. Right, let's have a look. So the first ones out of the gate are the Protectorate trilogy, I think it is, by Megan O'Keeffe. And the space opera, I recall quite liking them, actually. So I'm inclined to keep them, I think, for now. I mean, I would need to... So I suppose the question really is, am I going to reread them? And I read them years ago when they first came out. So when did this one come out? The third one came out in 2021. So it's 4 years at least. I would have read it pretty much straight away. So it's been 4 years at least since I read it. So I think I'm going to keep those because I might reread them again. But is that really true? Similarly with the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, I really enjoyed those. They were a bit different. I will reread those. What about Eva? So 2 Reynolds. So Chasm City can definitely go because I've got a hardcover of that now. So whilst I'd like to reread it, I'd probably listen to it in an audiobook. So Chasm City can certainly go. So that's good. E-version. I'm never going to read it again because I don't like it. So that can go. Look at me, how strong I'm being. And then we've got the Christopher Rocchio Sun Eater, the first 3 books, which are in perfect condition, essentially unread. And I'm not going to keep them, but only because I really enjoyed them. So normally I would say I'm absolutely keeping those, but I've got them in hardcover now, these broken binding limited editions. So there's no need for me to have the paperbacks too. So those can go. Now, arguably, I've only got broken binding editions of the first 3, but I have read book 4 and books. In fact, I've read book 4 and 5. So books 4 and 5 are going to be coming out in the broken binding editions later. I'm unlikely to read either of these before then, so I think they can all go as well. So that's cool. So that's created quite a bit of space there. Then we've got Robert Silverberg up here, slightly incongruously. Time of Changes, which was the first Silverberg that I ever read, and one of the first books that I read after starting this channel as well. So I'm going to keep that. I've got the first 2 books of. This is the science fiction masterworks of Book of the New Sun. I've got the first 2 in the New English Library ones with the Bruce Pennington covers, so I don't need that, so that can go. And I'm making it my business to find books 3 and 4 in the New England Library as well, and I'm not going to reread it before I acquire them, so I think I can get rid of those as a pair. Look at me, how strong am I being? Acres of Space. Then we've got Flowers for Algernon. It's an important book. I read it. I quite liked it. I would probably get some value from reading it again, I think. So I'm going to keep that. I picked this up for £1 in a charity shop. So there's no great investment gone into it. It's one of the hardbacks of... I'm sure it's a reprint. Let me see. It is actually a first edition. But then am I going to try to find the others in hardback, especially when the first 2 or 3 will be definitely reprints because they're really hard to find in hardback. So I'm not going to keep that. Much as I like Harry Potter, I've got the illustrated editions of the first, definitely 4, maybe 5 now, and so I'm going to just collect those instead, so that can go. Serving no purpose and occupying quite a bit of space. This is a very cathartic experience. What else have we got here? Full Storm by Chelsea Quinn Yarborough. I'm sort of half-heartedly collecting these Sidgwick and Jackson Silvers. I don't actually know how many there are, but there weren't that many. So I think I'm going to keep that. And then we've got Pierce Brown, Red Rising, which honestly I thought was a bit so-so, but apparently the series gets better. So I'll take a view, I think, when I've read the whole series about whether or not I keep them. So that's got a stay of execution. I didn't think it was that great. And then after that, there's 2 William Gibsons, and whilst I might like better editions, I don't have them yet, so I think I'm going to keep those for now. I might choose to replace them at some point. So I don't know how well you can see it. So there's like a half a shelf of space there that I've cleared, with no regrets removals from my library. Look at that. Let me put some of these back. Right, how well can you see these ones over here? Let me just move that a bit. Yeah, okay. So once again, let me move these guys. All right, I don't know that there's going to be many candidates here, really. Let's see. So first up is Elizabeth Moon, Remnant Population, which is a book I enjoyed. But am I going to read it again? I might, actually. I did enjoy it, and it's an A format, so that can go on the A format shelves. It doesn't need to be taking up a B format space. And then we've got Cans called Lee for Leibowitz, which is a recent edition, and I've got a much more vintage edition, so I think that's surplus to requirements. Then we've got Lee Brackett, Long Tomorrow, which I really enjoyed and probably will reread, so that can go back there. Then we've got a load of Dave Hutchinson. It's all the Europe books, which I definitely want to reread at some point, so that can stay. How's this working? Can you see my head? Not really. And then we've got the Aftermath series. I'm waiting for book 4 of that to turn up. I think that's the kind of thing that I would reread. It's a kind of quite easy reading, and I like it because it's set just up the road from me. Then we've got The Girl with All the Gifts. That actually could go because we've got another copy downstairs. It's probably not something that I'm going to reread. This is going to get painful because I'm now squatting. And what else have we got here? Then we've got some black science fiction masterworks. We've got Where Late the Sweet Birds Sing, which I thought was really good. I'm going to keep that. And we've got The Dispossessed. Jesus wept. Yeah, so there's 4 Ujima Flips science fiction masterworks in the older version, the black ones, and those are all 4 books that I like. The black science fiction masterworks, and all 4 of those were really good reads, so I'm going to keep those. So slightly slimmer pickings on that one, to be honest, but I think it's a healthy exercise. All right, let's do the shelves below. Hang on. Now, actually, this shelf is double stacked with books that I've read. The ones at the front are books that I've read, as are the ones behind. I think I'm going to keep all of them. I probably will read the Connie Willis's again, Blackout and All Clear, because I really enjoyed that. And I do like a good time travel tale. It's either I squat like this or I stand like this and you can't see the top of my head. See how my knees cope. So we've got Thorns by Robert Silverberg in hardback, Greg Bear, keeping that. The Carpet Makers I enjoyed. Kite World I really enjoyed. Hard to Be a God I hated, but it is a rare first edition. I could sell it because it's worth quite a lot of money, but I can't quite bring myself to do that yet. Christopher Priest I'm kind of sort of collecting. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so I'm keeping all these guys, so I'm going to move these. Right, let's see what's behind here. Raven, so this is a bit of Anne Leckie here. So we've got the Ancillary Justice and the Raven Tower. I can probably remove the Raven Tower because while I enjoyed it, I'm never going to read it again. And it's fancy. Then you've got the Ancillary Justice books, which I think I'll keep. Then the Nine Fox Gambit books, which again I think I'll keep. The short stories I can live without. So this is the Yoon Ha Lee Hexar Kate stories by the same author as Ujima Flip, Nine Fox Gambit, etc. Then I've got a bit of a strange double here. I've got Firefall, which is an omnibus edition of Blindsight and Echopraxia. So we've got these 2 bad boys. So Echopraxia is in Firefall. So do I just stick with the omnibus, or should I bin the omnibus and try to find a separate copy of Blindsight? Or should I bin both and look for the hardback omnibus? It's a difficult one. I am undecided. Ministry of the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson, which was fine, but I think I could get rid of that. If I saw it in hardback, I would probably buy it. Stars and Bones by Gareth Powell. I think that was his debut novel. It was okay. Do I need to keep it, though? No, that can go. There's The Martian by Andy Weir, of course, which I've read many times, but I think I'm going to keep because I like it. Okay, so not quite as productive on those shelves, but we're making progress. Right, where should we go next? Okay, let's see what's behind here. We've got some Dan Simmons. So these are the UK editions of Ilium and Olympos, which I read like 15 years ago, maybe even a bit more. So I am inclined to keep those. I think I probably will reread them. And then I've got the UK editions of Hyperion, Cantos, and then the Endymion books as well. They're a matching set. The trouble is that I will be getting a broken binding edition of Hyperion, which should be arriving quite soon. So, and I believe they're going to issue the other 3 in hardback as well. So do I need to keep the paperback ones? No, I don't. So I'm definitely going to get rid of Hyperion. I guess I'll keep the others until they come along. Then we've got Terry Pratchett and Stephen Baxter's... Oh my days, they're fucking alive. Then we've got the Terry Pratchett-Stephen Baxter collaboration. Starts with The Long Earth and finishes with The Long Utopia, I think. I've read the first 2 or 3, and the first one I quite enjoyed, but then they sort of tailed off for me after that. So, and I bought these for £1 each in a charity shop, so there's no major investment here. I think those can go. Then we've got the Time Traveller's Wife, which I did really enjoy, but that's actually my wife's copy, and I think that could just go back on her shelves. Then we've got Emma Newman's Planetfall series, which I really liked, so that can stay, I think. Then Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. I have read this, but and it was pretty good. That could go, to be honest. Pluto Shine I really enjoyed. I think I might read that again. And what else have we got down here? Station 11 I really liked. Snow Crash I liked. Bone Shaker. Now, this was one of the books off of the Broderick and De Filippo 101 Best Novels list, which I didn't actually like that much, so that can go. And then we're into H.G. Wells. So between this shelf and the one above, we've cleared a good whole shelf's worth of space there, I think. So that's pretty good 20 minutes work. But there is one more shelf. Right, another unusual camera angle. So this shelf here with the hardbacks horizontal, behind here lurk an entire shelf of books that I've read. So let me just remove these and we can take a look. Let's see what we can find. We've got the Tchaikovsky Children of Time books, which I did enjoy. It's possible, I suppose, that eventually Broken Binding might do some nice hardback editions, and I might replace them at that point, but for now I'm keeping them. Do I want to keep Wool, etc.? I'm not going to read them again, so that can. I'm definitely not going to read those again, so that can go. That was the Hugh Howey books, the Silo books, which were okay. I didn't love them or anything. Paolini's To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, it was all right, certainly a lot better than Fractal Noise. And actually, I don't know where that is. That can go as well. But To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, it was so-so space opera, and it can go. Then we've got Ada Palmer's Terra Ignota. Starts with this guy, Two Like the Lightning, which were... I'm a bit torn because they were very interesting. I did quite like her writing style, but they were quite hard work. I do feel like an idiot in books 2 and 3. It just felt like it went massively over my head. I felt like the class dunce in the classics lesson. But I suspect that they're probably something that will reward a reread. So I'm gonna keep them just in case. Then we've got Dark Matter, So by Blake Crouch. It was a confection. It was fine whilst I was reading it, but nothing that I'm going to want to read again. Ready Player One is very much in the same category. I kind of enjoyed it whilst I was there, but I'm never going to reread it. And it's far from being a classic. What else have we got here? So we've got the Becky Chambers Wayfarer series. I have all 4 of these. I might not ever reread these, but I did enjoy them, and I'll keep them hanging around for now. Kind of cozy science fiction. Then we've got Kindred and Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I should keep those until I find nicer copies. They'll do. Sirens of Titan. Now, if this was a vintage copy, I might keep it. But on the basis that I really didn't like Sirens of Titan at all, and this is just a science fiction masterworks edition, I think this can go. Then we've got the Best of Greg Egan short stories, which actually I've read this and I enjoyed it, so I think I can keep that one. The Medusa Chronicles by Reynolds and Baxter was a sort of continuation of a short story by, or maybe it was a novel by Arthur C. Clarke, a novella apparently. And I've read it, but nothing that special. It can go. And then the only other one is The Rift. And the only reason why I might get rid of this, I did only spend 99p on it. It's a production second, so some of the pages are not quite square. And I might want to replace it with, I can't remember if it was PS now or Newcon Press, but there's a small press publisher that did this when it first came out in a special edition hardback that I might like to get instead. But for now, I'm going to hang on to it until I decide whether I'm going to replace it or not. I did enjoy it. So I think this exercise has been a success. I'm going to tot up and make a pile of the books that I've managed to unhaul here, and I'll show you to them. I won't run through them all, but you can see the pile. So just bear with. Right, this is a slightly unaccustomed position. I'm actually sitting on the floor now. So the 3 piles of books that you can see behind me there are the fruits of that exercise. So that's pretty good. That's over a shelf's worth of books, a 60 centimetre shelf's worth of books. Books that were not really adding anything to my collection. I've read them, I enjoyed them in most cases, but I'm never going to read them again. They're not classics, with the possible exception of Sirens of Titan, but then I just hated that. But I'm pretty pleased with that exercise. So it just goes to show when the mood takes you, you can be as brutal as you need to be and as harsh with yourself as you need to be. In a world where I don't have enough shelf space and I'm still acquiring books, then every book has to earn its place. And these ones, whilst they've served their purpose, are now surplus to requirements. So I'm pretty pleased with that exercise. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye for now.